So you want to set up versions or releases for your project so that people know all these issues under this epic belong to which release or which version. Sometimes the versions could be Q1 release, could be MVP1, it could be version 1. Whatever the name they give you doesn't matter. The point is that you are able to create at a higher level a release that all the epics and issues will belong to, and that is done through here by clicking on versions, then able to create version. Once you create the version, the next level down would be how do you set up an epic. Now an epic, just a reminder, is a very high level bucket that holds all the stories, tasks underneath it. Think of an epic like a feature. So a feature would have many stories, many spikes where you go and explore. At the same time, it may have many kind of other bugs for that feature. So an epic kind of is like a big bucket of work that has all the stories in underneath it, and that you create clicking on epics, and you say create epic, and you can see here all these are epics that have been created. After you have created the release and the epic, the next level down is how do you create stories, user stories, which are like requirements for that epic. An epic could be like a feature. So you create all those user stories here and all the tasks and all the different issue types underneath that. So now all these are shown here. So you can see version, higher level, then the next level down is epic. And then for epic, you have all these different stories underneath that. Every story or a task could have a subtask, as we talked about in the videos. So to create a subtask, if you are on a story like login screen, there is an option called create subtask, and then you can create a subtask, and it gives you another kind of a name here, but it has its own key to say to you that this belongs to that particular parent story. The other good way of organizing stories on a Jira board is quick filters. And I use these all the time. For example, when I'm doing my daily Scrum, I have these filters already created. So when I click on left to do, I show the team that in this version, in this sprint, we have these many stories still left to do, and the sprint is about to finish in 3 to 4 days. So it's a very good way of understanding what's left in a very quick manner, instead of thinking of which stories are done, which are not done. So having these quick filters available is a very good thing to do, and I'll show you how to create one when I do the practical of this video. And they're always available in your backlog view, active sprint view. So they're always available to you for you to click on. And to do that is that you go to the board settings, which is 3 dots. You move down here under quick filters. You start typing in the name of the filter. The JQL, which is Jira Query Language, is built like SQL. You just type in there, for example, status is not done, not equal to done, which is left to do, and then these are all the issues left to do, and then you can move these up and down as well if you want to. And some of the things you use in Jira Query Language is like this. You have the filter name, you specify the filter query, and then the description. So for example, all those issues which are left to do, you say where the status is not equal to done. So you can always find the actual different parameters of JQL on a website under Atlassian, but spend some time in terms of understanding how do you specify a particular SQL JQL command. So let me show you how that is done on practical terms. So here's my backlog. I'm going to create a first story, and it says here you can start typing in here, or I can create here. But this is part of my sprint 1. What Jira does is it creates for you the first sprint automatically, and if it didn't create this for you, you have to click on here. So at the moment, I'm not going to focus on creating sprints. I'm only going to focus on creating user stories in backlog. At the moment, you can see there are 0 issues here. There are no stories in the backlog. So let's create one. By clicking on here or here, we can create one. So let's click on here. It gives you a very small window. It's like a quick way of adding stories, but I want to open this in a bigger dialog. So let's open this in a bigger dialog by just clicking on here and saying this is the project name. It's a story, or it could be a task, but I want to say it's a story. So type in there what it wants you to do. So this is my first story, user story, and you just got to go down, fill in the basics. So I'll fill in this over here as well. Assign to me, and any labels, any parents, sprint. I don't need to sprint select that yet, and off you go. Just create. So this created my first story. If you don't see the version or release on here, which you don't, the way you see it, you need to get that is you go into project settings, under features, and you just need to click on one of these things to say that I want to see reports as well. I also want to see issue navigator, and you want to see sprints, estimation. I don't want to see code because I'm not going to be coding it. I want to see release though. And deployments, no. On call, no. Project pages. So once you got all that, you want to go back to project. So now you see version. So as you see here, we didn't have this on. Now we do. Over here, you click on that and you say show me the version as well. And now it shows you the version. So as we said, let's create a version. So this is going to be my version 1. And description, I'll just keep it the same. And it's going to run from, say, from the 1st of January all the way till, say, end of July or end of June. Okay. And just save it. For my epics, I create my epic. So what's my epic name? I was just going to say this is the screen 1. And I also want to have another one called database 1. Okay. So I have one version, I have 2 epics. So you can say this is going to be part of version 1. And it's going to be part, yep. So save that. And it's going to be part of epic. So I'll click on epic and I choose which epic is going to be. I say it's part of going to be screen 1. Okay. So now we have our backlog. In there we have version 1. We have 2 epics. We have 1 story. So we're just going to need to take this off. Okay. So we have our versions, we have epics and a story. Now I want to create a quick filter. To do that, let's click on to the board. And here you'll see that there is here configure board. And I want to go to my custom filters. And here I want to put in there left to do, and we want to say these are all issues to do, and the filter is going to be status. So you start typing in Jira gives you the what you're trying to do. You say yeah, I want to say status. If you press space, it says equals to. I'm going to say no, not equal to. So not equal to, and empty. I say no, not equal to done. And that's it. And I just say create. Okay, so that's created. Now, if I go back to my project, I will say custom filters. I say this one here. So if I say left to do, we have one left to do now. And if you clear filters, that's what happens. So this is how you create the release or the version, epic, and then the first story in the backlog, and then you create the first sprint. It does automatically, but I'll show you how to create that and then moving the story into the sprint and have it started.